Fear ends here. Doubt stops now. This is Zero Bend.
Chosen one, welcome back. The light has guided you here once again today. Right now, listen closely. I carry an urgent message for you. This message isn't meant for everyone. If you are not walking the sacred path of God, if your heart is not in harmony with truth, you will feel uneasy and you will leave. But if you are truly chosen, if you are a genuine follower of the divine, you will remain, because this word reached you at precisely the moment it was meant to. This is no coincidence. Heaven itself arranged this meeting. What I am about to share will transform the way you see yourself and the way you make sense of everything you've been going through. It will bring you clarity, calm, and fresh strength in your spirit. Many of you have already sensed it. People hold their gaze on you longer than usual. Their eyes rest on you, yet their lips stay sealed. They look at you intently, but say nothing. And it leaves you wondering what it means. By the time this message ends, you will understand the spiritual reason for that silence, and you will stop doubting yourself. Stay with me until the very end. There is something you need to hear that will bring deep peace to your heart. And if these words touch your spirit, show me by typing 444 in the comments below. That small action is your declaration that you are divinely shielded and completely aligned with the work God is doing in your life. Chosen one, settle your thoughts for a moment and listen quietly. What you are experiencing is not random, and it is not just in your mind. There is something resting upon you that human eyes cannot see, yet it is powerfully felt. God places an unseen mark on the ones he selects. Not a mark of arrogance, not a mark of being better than others, but a mark of purpose. This mark does not shout. It does not draw attention to itself. It does not beg to be noticed, yet it carries real weight. And wherever real weight enters a space, the atmosphere must shift. That is why you can step into a room silently and still feel eyes turning towards you. You said nothing. You did nothing out of the ordinary. But something changed the moment you arrived. People do not always stare because they admire you. Sometimes they stare because their inner balance has been disturbed. Your presence quietly interrupts the patterns they are comfortable with. You bring order into disorder without even trying. You bring peace into turmoil without effort. That is not a skill you study. That is something God shaped inside you, often through hardship, loneliness, and long seasons of silence. Your presence speaks long before your voice does. Before you ever open your mouth, something within you has already sent a message. It speaks of honesty. It speaks of self-control. It speaks of depth. Most people are not used to being near someone who does not spill insecurity into the space. Many enter rooms carrying a deep need to be seen, approved, or validated. They speak fast. They justify themselves. They rush to fill every quiet moment because silence makes them feel exposed. But you are different. You can rest in stillness even when you are not trying to. You are rooted. And that rootedness creates unease in those who live emotionally unanchored lives. That is why the staring is often joined by silence. They are attempting to figure you out. They are trying to fit you into a familiar category. But you do not match their usual patterns. You are not loud enough to ignore. You are not fragile enough to dismiss. And you are not predictable enough to manage. So they watch. Chosen one, this is important for your healing. The silence directed at you is not rejection. It is not disrespect. It is recognition mixed with uncertainty. Your spirit carries an authority that never asks for permission. And genuine authority causes people to pause. It causes them to weigh their words carefully. It makes them cautious, even when they cannot explain why. There are Those who feel you see far more than you ever say, that you understand far more than you reveal. That awareness by itself can unsettle them. When someone realizes they cannot quickly figure you out, they instinctively slow down. They observe, they grow quiet, not because you threaten them, but because something inside them feels uncovered in your presence. Stop making yourself smaller so others can feel at ease. You were not created to water down what God placed on you. You were not created to act small so others can relax. The discomfort you cause is not meanness. It is contrast. Light never apologizes for exposing what darkness tried to conceal. This unseen mark also draws the attention of those who are spiritually thirsty. Some stare because they feel safe around you. They may not understand why, but your calm steadies them. Others stare because their own conscience convicts them, not because of anything you did. And some stare simply because they recognize a strength that doesn't need to advertise itself. You must learn to rest peacefully in that truth. You do not owe anyone an explanation for the way you carry yourself. God formed you on purpose. He permitted pressure to refine you. He permitted silence to mature you. He permitted misunderstanding to fortify you. And now, when you walk into any space, the evidence of that process travels with you. You are not intimidating because you are aggressive. You are unsettling because you are grounded. You are not stared at because you are strange. You are stared at because you are uncommon. True stability in a fractured world feels unfamiliar to many. This unseen mark also acts as protection. It creates healthy distance without creating enemies. It limits access without you having to enforce it. God never designed you to be easily approachable by everyone. Certain doors close automatically because your presence reminds people they cannot manipulate you. You do not need to repair this. You do not need to soften it. You do not need to lower your standards or dim your perception to seem more friendly. What God placed on you is deliberate. It will draw close the ones meant to be near you and gently push away the ones who are not. So the next time you notice the stares, breathe slowly. Do not tighten up. Do not question your worth. Do not hurry to break the silence. Let them look. Let them feel whatever surfaces inside them. Your calling is not to manage their emotions. Your calling is to stay aligned. Chosen one, breathe slowly as you hear this next part, because this is where many confusions finally clear away. Not every stare comes from confusion. Some come from recognition. And when recognition meets fear, it very often produces silence. There is a level where spirit identifies spirit before the mind can process or explain it. This recognition needs no words. It needs no introduction. It happens quietly, deeply, and instantly when you cross paths with certain people. Something inside them knows you are not ordinary, even if they cannot name what sets you apart. And in that instant of knowing, they pause. Many people live reacting instead of discerning. So when they suddenly feel something beyond their control or explanation, they freeze. That freeze usually turns into silence. They stare because they are trying to process what their spirit already caught, something their mind has not yet labeled. Let me make this very clear. When spirit recognizes spirit, it moves past the intellect. It does not wait for permission. It simply knows. And knowing without full understanding creates hesitation in those who are not yet mature in the spirit. They feel respect, but cannot explain it. They sense authority, but cannot identify it. They feel weight, but have no frame of reference for it. That is why some become nervous around you without any obvious reason. It has nothing to do with your words or behavior. It has everything to do with the frequency you carry. Your spirit functions on a errant level, and that level disrupts their normal way of connecting. If this is resonating with you right now, take a moment to show it. Like this message and subscribe so you never miss the words prepared especially for chosen ones like you. Fear plays a part here too, not fear of danger, but fear of being seen. People who hide behind masks sense that you see past the performance. People who depend on control sense that you cannot be managed. People who run from truth sense that you carry it effortlessly. All of that stirs inner discomfort that shows up as silence. You have probably noticed this pattern already. Some people are pulled toward you while others withdraw without a word. The ones who withdraw are not always against you. They are simply not aligned. Their spirit recognizes what your presence requires, honesty, integrity, depth, and they are not prepared for that depth of connection. Let me speak softly to your heart. You are not responsible for soothing people's discomfort with truth. You are not required to shrink yourself so others can feel taller. God gave you this spiritual frequency for a reason, and part of that reason is to disturb comfort zones that have become prisons. When spirit recognizes spirit, it also uncovers motives. Some stay silent because they know their intentions would not survive your discernment. Some stay silent because they are calculating how to get closer. Some stay silent because they are testing whether you are truly as steady as you appear. Silence becomes their test, and you pass it by staying undisturbed. Chosen one, release the need to decode every stare, release the need to explain away every silence. Not everything requires your interpretation. Some things are simply proof that God has placed something real on you, something others can feel but cannot completely grasp, and that is sufficient. This recognition flows both ways. There are people whose spirit you identify the moment you meet them. You feel safe with them instant lie, or you feel cautious without knowing exactly why. That is your spirit speaking. Trust it. Do not override it with logic. Do not ignore it just to be polite. Discernment is not cruelty, it is care. Understanding this spiritual recognition changes everything. It means the tension you feel in certain rooms is real, not imagined. It means you are not paranoid when you sense someone is not authentic. It means you are not overanalyzing when you step back from someone who appears friendly on the surface. Your spirit is reading frequencies. Your mind has not yet translated into words. Many chosen ones have been made to doubt their own perception. People called you judgmental when you were actually discerning. They called you cold when you were actually protecting yourself. They convinced you that boundaries make you unkind, when boundaries are actually one of the kindest things you can give yourself and others. But hear this clearly. Your ability to sense what others miss is not a defect. It's a gift. It is wired into your spirit, and the more you honor it instead of apologizing for it, the stronger it grows. When spirit recognizes spirit, it cuts through all the noise and goes straight to truth. And truth is what sets you free. Chosen one, shift your view for a moment. The silence you have taken as something done against you is actually something done for you. God uses other people's silence to teach you lessons no other method could deliver. Silence teaches you to depend on yourself. When people withhold affirmation, you stop chasing outside approval. When people offer no explanation, you stop trying to manage their opinions. When people stay distant, you learn to be complete without their participation. Silence removes the support of validation and forces you to stand on your own spiritual legs. Many of you were raised to believe silence means something is broken. You were taught that quiet people must be upset with you. You were conditioned to rush into silence with apologies, justifications, or performances. But God is using this season to shatter that old training. Silence also sharpens your discernment. When constant talking no longer distracts you, you start noticing patterns. You see who comes with pure motives. You see who only appears when they want something. You see who honors your limits and who tries to push them. Silence creates space for clear observation without interruption. Hear this plainly. Silence is not punishment. It is preparation. God is training you to carry influence without being swayed by others. He is training you to walk in authority without needing constant encouragement. He is training you to be satisfied in solitude so you are never desperate in a crowd. There is a maturity that only silence can build. When you no longer need people to speak, you begin hearing God more distinctly. When you stop filling every pause with noise, you notice what the noise was hiding. When you stop performing for acceptance, you start living NG from purpose. Chosen one. Silence has also shown you something precious. It has revealed who is truly with you. The people who stayed close even when you were quiet. The people who never demanded explanations. The people who respected your journey without needing to understand every step. Those are your true companions. Silence sifted out the rest. Let this sink in slowly. The silence around you right now is making room for the right voices to arrive later. God is clearing the space. He is removing distractions. He is guarding you from early connections that would delay what he is building inside you. Chosen one, there is something vital you must understand about yourself. The power you carry did not come from you. It was placed in you, and it has been quietly increasing without you fully realizing it. That is why people respond to you before you even speak. That is why your presence alone changes the energy in a room. True power rarely announces itself. In fact, authentic power almost never does. It needs no volume. It needs no applause. It simply is. And its simple existence is enough to be felt. You have carried this quietly for a long time. Many of you only began to notice when others started reacting. The looks you receive are not always about curiosity. Sometimes they are about evaluation. People are unconsciously assessing whether you are a risk or an ally, whether you will disturb their comfort or support it, whether you can be directed or whether you stand independent. All of this happens before a single word is spoken. Sit with this truth. You cause people to think twice. You cause people to reconsider their approach. You cause people to become aware of themselves in ways they are not accustomed to. That is not pride. That is the natural result of carrying something genuine in a world filled with facades. Your power also shows in your restraint. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to defend yourself endlessly. You do not need to justify your path to people who would never understand it anyway. That restraint is what sets you apart from those who fake power but do not truly hold it. Chosen one, many of you have been afraid of your own strength. You were taught that power makes you threatening. You were told that confidence makes you proud. You were conditioned to shrink so others could grow. But God is dismantling that falsehood. Your power is not meant to be buried. It is meant to be stewarded. Here is where so many chosen ones struggle. You do not want to upset anyone, so you dim what God has turned up. You do not want to stand out, so you blend in. You do not want to appear arrogant, so you downplay what you carry. But none of that serves the greater purpose. It only serves fear. Let me say it directly. The power you carry is not for domination. It is for deliverance. It is not for control. It is for covering. It is not for display. It is for service. But you cannot serve powerfully while constantly apologizing for your strength. People will always have thoughts about your power. Some will cheer it. Some will fear it. Some will try to reduce it. Your responsibility is not to control their response. Your responsibility is to stay faithful to what God asked you to carry. Chosen one, I want to speak straight to the part of you that feels pressured to explain yourself, the part that feels guilty when others misunderstand, the part that wants to clarify, justify, and defend every choice. Release that weight right now. You do not owe anyone an explanation for how God is working in your life. You do not owe anyone entry into your process. You do not owe anyone a full report of your decisions. Some matters are meant to remain private between you and God. That boundary is holy. Many of you were trained to think silence equals hiding and hiding equals guilt. So you over-explain. You share more than needed. You give inner details to people who have not earned access to your heart. And every time you do, you will weaken the very boundaries God instructed you to protect. Silence is not stinginess. Silence is safeguarding. It guards your peace from unwanted opinions. It guards your vision from early criticism. It guards your energy from people who want to argue against what God has already settled. Here is a powerful truth. When you stop explaining yourself, people stop expecting explanations. When you stop defending your path, people stop attacking it. When you stop chasing approval, people stop using it as a weapon. This does not mean you become distant or harsh. It means you become wise. You open up to those who have proven trustworthy. You share deeply with those who honor what you reveal. You explain to those who sincerely want understanding, not ammunition. Chosen one, there is freedom in letting people wonder. There is strength in allowing curiosity without satisfying it. There is wisdom in holding certain things close until the proper season. Even Jesus said, "Do not throw your pearls before swine." Some truths are not for public sharing. The people meant to journey with you will understand even without full explanation. The people meant to stand by you will trust your process even when they cannot see the whole picture. The people aligned with your purpose will honor your limits without demanding entry. And here is the beautiful result. When you stop explaining, you stop draining yourself. You stop spending energy on dead-end conversations. You stop repeating yourself to people who were never going to grasp it. You take back your peace. So the next time someone stares in silence, do not rush to close the gap. Let them sit with their questions. Let them wrestle with their confusion. Let them wonder. You are not required to make sense to everyone. You are only required to obey God. Chosen one, listen to this part with a calm heart, because this is where tension gives way to hope. The silence you have been walking through is not forever. It is temporary. And every season creates has an ending. A change is coming. You can already feel it taking shape beneath the surface. The same people who once watched you wordlessly will not stay quiet forever. The difference will not be that you changed who you are. The difference will be that God has finished what he was forming in you, and clarity will replace uncertainty. Right now, many do not know what to say because they cannot yet place you. They sense potential, depth, direction, but it has not yet appeared in visible form. People speak boldly about what they can define. They stay quiet around what is still unfolding, but what is unfolding never stays hidden forever. There comes a moment when preparation becomes obvious, when consistency becomes impossible to ignore, when the quiet strength you have carried begins producing visible results. And when that happens, the way people interact with you changes. Those who once stared warily begin speaking with respect. Those who kept distance begin approaching with questions. Those who once underestimated you adjust their tone. Not because you forced it, but because truth has ripened. Chosen one, this is how God shields you from early praise and early judgment. If people spoke too soon, their words would have shaped you. If they criticized too early, their confusion would have discouraged you. Silence kept you free while God completed his work. Let this truth bring healing The silence you feel now is proof your life is not yet fully explainable to others. And that is a blessing. God is still writing. Interruptions are reduced so the story stays whole. Many of you are closer to recognition than you realize, but recognition rarely arrives with fanfare at first. It arrives through small shifts, a change in how people look at you, a change in how they speak to you, a pause before they respond, not from fear, but from respect. This is when silence transforms. The silence that once felt heavy becomes the silence of attentiveness. And if you are sensing his change beginning in your own life, declare it. Type 444 below and let the universe know you are ready to enter this new season with clarity, confidence, and divine alignment. You will recognize the shift has arrived when you no longer feel the urge to interpret every reaction. When peace takes the place of overthinking. When you stop wondering what others think because their thoughts no longer hold power over you. God does not lift up chaos. He lifts up steadiness, and steadiness takes time to be seen. Those never meant to walk with you will quietly drift away as clarity grows. Those who are aligned will naturally step closer. You will not need to chase them. God will arrange the meetings. This is also where humility must protect your heart. When people begin speaking differently, do not let pride replace peace. Recognition is not the goal. Alignment is. Recognition is simply the fruit of long obedience. Some of you will notice people who once overlooked you now seek your thoughts. Some who once talked over you now listen attentively. Some who once avoided you now ask for your perspective. That change is not about being superior. It is about credibility earned through steady character. Do not hurry the change. Do not force words. Do not broadcast your growth. Let it unfold naturally. God knows exactly when visibility becomes safe. Chosen one, the coming season will feel lighter, not because life gets easier, but because your inner world becomes more solid. You will speak when it matters, stay silent when it is wise, and move forward without anxiety. The staring will lessen. The confusion will fade. The silence will turn into understanding. And when people finally speak, it will be different. Their tone will shift. Their posture will change. Their words will carry respect, even if they do not fully comprehend you. That is when you will grasp something profound. The silence was never meant to make you question yourself. It was meant to prepare you for the responsibility of being heard. Stay patient. Stay aligned. Stay rooted. The change is already in motion. And when it fully arrives, you will know it. Not by noise, but by peace. Chosen one, let your heart rest here for a moment. Everything you have been walking through now has a name, a purpose, and a divine intention. People look at you and say nothing, not because you lack something, not because you are odd, not because you are failing. They look because something in you carries weight. And weight always changes the temperature of a room. You were never meant to chase words from people who are still searching for their own identity. God surrounded you with silence so your spirit could grow strong without interference. He allowed watching without explanation so you could learn stability, restraint, and inner authority. Nothing has been wasted. Remember this clearly. You are not delayed. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared, and preparation often appears quiet from the side. You do not need to change yourself to be accepted. You do not need to explain what God is doing inside you. You do not need to react to every stare or fill every silence. Your task is simple now. Stay aligned, stay grounded, stay still. God is handling conversations you are not yet meant to have. God is silencing mouths that would speak too soon. God is protecting you from noise that would disturb your peace. Trust that. Before we finish, chosen ones, if this word spoke to your spirit, do something for me. Like this message so it can reach other chosen ones who need these words today. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message crafted for your journey. Share this with someone who needs this clarity right now. And finally, type 444 in the comments below as your declaration that you are divinely protected, spiritually aligned, and walking calmly in your purpose. Let that number be a sign to the universe and to yourself that you are ready to embrace who God made you to be without apology. Stay still, chosen one. God is moving more than your eyes can see. The silence is not rejection, it is redirection. The stares are not judgment, they are recognition. And the shift you have been waiting for is already underway. Walk in peace, walk in power, walk in purpose. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Together we rise toward the light,